Dear friends, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my live session. Today I'll discuss compound to complex. I think you will remain with me throughout my session. Thank you very much. Dear friends, compound to complex, you have already learned, and all of you already know what simple complex compound are. They are structural sentences, simple complex compound, and they are very much important sentences in English literature. And today I'll discuss compound to complex. And compound is a type of in which we find at least two clauses, and both the clauses are of equal value, equal importance, and equal significance. That means coordinating or coordinate conjunctions. Both are coordinate conjunctions, and coordinate conjunctions are equally important and equally significant. None is dependent on another. That means both are equally independent and important. On the contrary, complex is a type of sentence in which we find a main clause and subordinate clause. Maybe subordinate clauses more than one, but usually we find two clauses both in compound sentence and in complex sentence. And I have already told you that compound has two clauses, at least two clauses, but both of them are independent or coordinate clauses. But in the case of complex sentence, one is main clause, another is subordinate clause. Let us try to turn compound sentences into complex sentences, and I'll discuss necessary rules one by one. Please follow me, and I think everything will be all right. Rule number one, conjunction and the compound sentence which has the conjunction and the first clause indicates time. In that case, we will have to turn the compound sentence into complex with the help of when. We will use when, indicating time. Indicating time. Dear learners, you will have to follow this very minutely so that you can understand the formation of the sentences. Compound it was 20 years ago, and I was serving in London. In London, if you want to go to any place, you need not have any passport or visa. So London is the best city in the world. So we should go to London if you go there in imagination. So it was 20 years ago, and I was serving in London. Here you see it was 20 years ago. This clause indicates time. This clause indicates time, so we'll use when, and when is a subordinating conjunction. If you follow, this is very much easy Very easy. If you know rules, I think everything will be easy. Complex. When it when it was 20 years ago, comma, accordingly we'll have to use comma in the place of and. That means and will be replaced by comma. When it was 20 years ago, I was serving in London. Dear learners, perhaps it is clear to you if the sentence is composed of the conjunction and the first clause indicates time. You will have to use the subordinating conjunction when to turn the compound into complex, and I have done that. Rule number 2, if you find in the compound sentence and so and therefore, they will indicate causes. They will indicate causes and so and therefore. They will indicate reasons or causes. So in this case, we will use subordinating conjunctions as, since, because, etc. And so and therefore, when they will indicate reasons or causes, we'll use the subordinating conjunctions as, since, or because. Any of them, as or since or because, any of them you can use. If we find and or and so or and therefore indicating causes, we'll use one of the lower conjunctions as, since, or because. It will depend on your choice. Let me give you example. Compound. He was ill and so he did not meet his friend. Yeah, he was ill and so he did not meet his friend. Sorry. And you know, now pandemic is going on all over the world, and we are confined to our houses, and either we are ill or we are well. It's not a matter. We can't meet anybody outside. So he was ill, and so he did not meet his friend. Of course, it indicates he was ill. It indicates cause or reason. For that reason, he did not or could not meet his friend. So here we will have to use a subordinating conjunction indicating cause as, since, or because. Any of them we can use. Complex. As, we also can use here since or because. As he was ill, accordingly we'll have to use comma. That means comma will replace the subordinating conjunction and. As he was ill, he did not meet his friend. Dear learners, of course you can understand now that so and therefore indicating cause or reason, we'll have to use any of the subordinating conjunctions, suppose, as, since, or because. I have accordingly used as at the beginning of the clause, subordinate clause. As he was ill, he did not meet his friend. Thank you very much. I think this rule is very much clear to you. And if you, dear listeners, dear learners, if you concentrate on anything for some time, I think that would be clear to you. This is a type of practice. So, if you follow this by killing a little bit time, I think it would be beneficial for you. Okay, let me move to next rule, that is rule number 3. Of course, this is also conjunction and actually and has an important role to play in English language, and so again and again we find and the other name of and is plus. That means and adds everything. So this is the mentality of and is very positive. It adds and adds and adds. It includes. It doesn't exclude. It only includes. That means it wants to conclude everything and everybody. So this is positive. Conjunction when we'll find any conjunction and in a sentence, and it will begin with an imperative sentence. It will have to convert the compound sentence into complex by using if affirmative. If here indicating imperative, and we know imperative begins with an ordinary verb or main verb. So we'll find that here. And in that case, you will have to use, if you want to make complex, if you, and so on. That means if affirmative. Suppose do and die. Do and die. In this case, you'll have to follow one thing. Here you see do and die. That part actually indicates present indefinite tense, die, do and die. But when we will convert this into complex, we will have to use future indefinite in the later part of complex sentence. If you do complex, if you do, comma, here you will die. Actually, this is conditional. If you do, you will die. Which you will do, it will depend on you. If you want to die, you will do this. If you don't want to do this, if you don't want to die, you will not do this. So this is conditional. If you do this, you will die. But we many do, knowing the bad effect and consequences or result, bad effect or bad result of something, yet we do that. Here, do and die. If you do, you will die. Dear learners, perhaps you are aware of this rule. In this way, we'll have to turn such type of compound into complex. 4. Let me move to next rule, 4. Here again, and is with us. Very and. If we find such type of construction in compound sentence, very followed by and or very and. In the same sentence, if we find very like correlative very and, in that case, we will have to turn the complex in another way. That is, so we'll have to use so in the case of complex, and in the place of and we'll have to use that very and. In the place of very, we'll have to use so. In the place of and, we'll have to use that. Let me give you an example. Compound. He is very poor and cannot buy his necessaries. Necessaries means needful things, the things he needs. He is very poor and cannot buy his necessaries. Here we'll have to, when we'll go to make a complex, we'll have to use so in the place of very and that in the place of and. Complex. He is so poor. He's so poor that he cannot buy his necessaries Yes, he is poor. He is so poor that he cannot buy his necessaries. This is the system, this is the rule of turning compound sentence into complex if we find very and very dot dot and in a sentence, compound sentence. Dear learners, perhaps this is clear to you. And let me go to next rule. This is here we will find the same clause but indicating different thing. And want to or wanted to. When the and will indicate purpose. Will have to this will indicate purpose of doing something, and dot dot want to or wanted to or wants to. In the case of want to, we will have to use can. In the case of wanted, could. When we will go to make complex out of compound. And let me give you an example of such type of sentence, compound sentence. Compound. Prince came here and wanted to meet me. Here, wanted to meet me indicates purpose. Purpose here. Prince came here and wanted to meet me. Hello, dear learners. You'll have to follow this. Came, past indefinite. That means V2 past form. So past indefinite. So wanted. The same sentence in both the clauses. And I think if it is clear to you. And here, in that case, what should we use? As conjunction, we'll have to use so that as the conjunction. Prince came here so that he could meet me. Dear learners, you have followed that after and we in the case of compound sentence, after and or but, we can when the subject is same in both the clauses, we can keep silent the second subject. That means after and we can keep the subject silent. But in the case of complex, there is no any such system to keep any subject silent or understood. So in the case of complex sentence, you will have to either the subject is same or different, whatever they may be. You will have to write all the subjects again and again before every verb. So you will have to bear this in your mind. Yeah, Prince came here so that he could meet me. the same subject, but here I have written the same subject, Prince, and here same. Both the subjects indicate same person, same man. But in the case of compound, we can keep silent one subject in the second subject after and. Next, rule number 6, dear learners, rule number 6. Here, the and is also with us still. Conjunction and but the condition is if the object if the object if the object of first clause and the subject of the second clause are same, we are to use relative pronouns. Relative pronouns for making complex sentence. If we see that the object of the first clause and the subject of the second clause indicate same subject, we will have to same person, not same subject, same person. We will have to use relative pronouns. Here, let me give you an example. Compound. I met a girl and she was a singer. I met a girl and she was a singer. Dear listeners, dear friends, you see, I met a girl. Object. Here, in the first clause of this sentence, the object is a girl, and in the second clause, the subject is she. Here, the object in the first clause is a girl, and in the subject in the second clause is she. So she and a girl are same. So same person, a girl and she indicate the same person. So here we'll have to use relative pronoun to make or turn the compound into complex. So I complex I met a girl who was a singer. I met a girl who was a singer. And in the case of any inanimate thing or objects, we can use which. Suppose I bought a pen. I bought a pen and it was costly. I bought a pen which was costly. Give me another example. I bought a pen and it was costly. Costly. That means expensive. Expensive. Costly means expensive. I bought a pen and it was costly. Here I bought a pen. A pen is here object and it is the subject of the second clause. And here a pen, we know we use the pronoun it in the case of any inanimate thing. So here it and a pen indicate the same object, the same thing or same person. So here think what type of relative pronoun should we use? Yes, right, you are. With. We'll use with. Complex. I bought a pen which was costly. Hello, dear learners, here as you see, I bought a pen which was costly. I bought in the compound, it was I bought a pen and it was costly. So I used which here. I bought a pen which was costly. I think the rule is clear to you. Rule number 7. This is very common rule. But, yet, still, sometimes you can see but yet, but still. They jointly also used in different sentences. Okay, but yet still, in that case, we'll have to make complex sentences with the help of subordinating conjunctions. Though, or although. Any of them can be used. It will depend on your choice, which one you will use. But, or yet, or still, any of them may be in the sentence. And in that case, you can use for making complex sentence, though or although. It will depend on your choice. And let me give you an example. Compound. He is rich. He is rich, but unhappy. He is rich but unhappy. Actually, this is opposed to our expectation. A rich man must be happy. A rich man will be happy. A rich man has many things to enjoy. A rich man can buy whatever he wants. So, and a rich man can buy any beautiful girl or any women he wants. And so it is it is natural. We can expect that a rich man will be happy, but here we see he is rich but unhappy. So this is different, opposed to the expectation. Opposed to the expectation. In this case, you will have to use though or although. Though or although. Complex. Complex. He is. Sorry. It will begin with though or although. Though or although here will be at the beginning of the sentence. Though. You can also use although. It's not a matter, they will carry the same meaning. Though he is raised, comma, he is unhappy. Dear learners, of course, you have followed one thing. In the compound sentence, we didn't see he is after but in the case of complex, I have mentioned he is again and again. So I have already told you that in the case of compound, we can keep silent some things, but in the case of complex, we cannot keep silent anything. We have to use everything in to the last and completely. So here, though he is rich, he is unhappy. We can't use here though he is rich, unhappy. No, it's not possible. It is possible only in the case of compound sentence, but not in complex sentence. Thank you. Rule number 8. Rule number 8. Very common thing, or otherwise or else. These three indicate the same meaning and construct the same sentence. That means compound sentence. And this is also conditional, or otherwise else. And in that case, you will have to use, if you want to make complex sentence, you will have to use if you do not. If you do not, this formula will have to use. That means if not, we'll have to use in making complex sentences. Let us discuss some examples. Suppose do compound, do or die. Here condition, do or die. Only 3 words have made a compound sentence. Only 3 words have constructed compound sentence. And in this case, like and, do and die, the construction will be almost same. In the later part, you will have to use a future indefinite tense. Do or die, there is condition. Either do or you will die. So here, we'll have to make this complex with the help of if you do not. If you do not do. Here, do not do is helping verb. I have borrowed this from outside, and do here main verb. If you do not do, comma, comma will replace O. If you do not do, you will die. Here we'll have to look at one thing, that you will die, but here there's no any will. Here both are in the same sentence, do, die, present indefinite tense, but here if you do not do, this portion, this clause indicates present indefinite, but the main clause, you will die, indicates future indefinite. This is the system in the case of if, as if is conditional. In the case of if, you will have to follow this. If clause, when it indicates present indefinite, the main clause will be in the future indefinite. Will be in the future indefinite. That means we will have to use will. Rule 9. Rule number 9. If we find therefore, or so, or hence as coordinating conjunctions in compound sentence, we'll have to turn the compound into complex with the help of subordinating conjunctions as, since, or because. Since or because. Let me give you an example. Compound. Prince worked properly, so his boss praised him. Here, Prince worked properly, so his boss praised him. Here, it is a cause. His boss praised him. Of course, there is a cause for praising. As complex, as Prince worked properly, comma, his boss praised him. As Prince worked properly, his boss praised him. I think, dear learners, this is clear to you. If we find so, therefore, or hence in any compound sentence, we'll turn that into complex by using as, since, or because. Any of them we'll use. This is the last rule. if we find this correlative either or, neither, nor in any compound sentence, what we'll do, what we'll do. If not, in that case, we'll have to use the formula, if not formula. If not, that means if you do not. Let me give you an example. Compound either he is mad or he feigns madness. Compound either he is mad or he feigns madness. Let us turn this into complex with the help of if not. If he is not mad, comma, if he is not mad, he, F-E-I-G-N-S, feigns, that means pretends. He feigns madness. Actually, we are not clear. Either he is mad or not. Either his madness is real, his madness is real or unreal or pretense. I don't know. So either he is mad or he feigns madness. In that case, we will have to use this formula. If he is not mad, he feigns madness. In this case, I'll give you another example, neither nor, and that would be the last one, dear learners. Neither borrower nor B, neither borrower nor lender B, nor lender B. Neither borrower nor lender B. Actually, this seems to be incomplete or incorrect sentence. Neither borrower nor lender be. Actually, it's a proverb. It's a proverb, and it is written by William Shakespeare. You know, William Shakespeare is the most famous dramatist in the world, and he was born in England, and perhaps you will find none, especially educated, all over the world or anywhere of the world, who doesn't know the name of William Shakespeare. So it is this proverb has been borrowed from William Shakespeare. Neither borrower nor lender be, and let us turn this into complex. This is very important proverb, either in your personal life or practical life, or in any examination or in any competitive examination. This is uh, uh, very often set in the question paper. Complex. If you do not lend, if you do not lend, comma, if you do not lend, you will not borrow. You will not borrow. Actually, lend, to give something to someone, and to borrow means to take something from someone on condition. And if you do not lend, you will not borrow. I think all of us will follow this formula, and if will remain tensionless. Hello, listeners, my dear learners. Actually, this was today's arrangement, and I have discussed already 10 rules of turning compound into complex, but there may be some other rules which could be added here, and I have applied 10 rules for turning compound sentences into complex sentence. I think it would be a little bit beneficial to you. And dear learners, if you think my discussion is useful or beneficial to you or helpful to you, please share and make comment. And I have a YouTube channel that is Learn English with Ujjwal. This is my YouTube channel. If you find my discussion useful or beneficial, you can visit my YouTube channel, Learn English with Ujjwal, Uzzal. This is my English channel, and in that channel I have uploaded many videos regarding grammatical rules and necessary English matters, and you may be benefited by watching those videos. And when you visit my channel, please subscribe my YouTube channel and share, comment, like, and click the bell icon so that my created videos may go to you automatically. Okay, thank you very much for remaining for a long time, and I also express my deep gratitude and gratefulness to you all. Thank you very much. Today no more. Allah Hafiz.